Join me in unboxing this hopefully killer knife. My name's Carter. Welcome to Edged Mindset, where we take a look at all things sharp and fun and pointy and stabby and all those things. And we've got something like that in here, and we're going to be opening it with this little Microtech right here. Yeah, Microtech. Man, Microtech, I've got such mixed feelings on those guys. Haven't done a full review on this knife yet. I'm not sure if I will. I don't know what's going to happen. I just thought it would be fun to open this knife because it is pretty much the exact opposite to the knife I'm using to open this box up. So I thought that would be kind of fun. This is coming in from NCblade. Super cool, folks. They were affected a little bit, I believe. Don't want to put any words in people's mouths. I believe they were affected by the latest hurricane. So I'm glad to see that they're still operational. They're still up and running. Slice, baby. That's a cool sticker. I haven't gotten that one yet. That's cool. We've got the usual candy. What I love about these guys is all the cool freebies. Got the card here with the wax seal. How cool is that? And then I think we should have a joke in here. Handwritten. Why did the baby strawberry cry? His parents were in a jam. That's terrible. It's really sad when you think about it. And we've got, like, what is this? It's like wrapping paper. They've upped their game even more. It's like a little party bag type deal or something. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see if I can get in here. There we go. We've got another Microtech. Man, I love Microtech. It's kind of one of those brands where when I get back into knives, that's what I tend to focus on. I focus on the Microtechs. I just really like all their offerings. I always have. And then eventually I buy all the ones or check out all the ones that I would ever want, and I move on to other things. But then I always come back to Microtech. Usual packaging. There's nothing crazy in this one, guys. But I still think it's going to be cool. I still think it's going to be cool. We've got another Combat Troodon. This one in the natural clear finish, which, if I'm honest, guys, I still don't fully understand. Let's open the blade before we start talking about all this stuff. Woo! There she is. The new Tanto full serrated. I like the full serrated, guys. You've got the plain edge up at the front for doing detail work and opening packages or whatever. Nice, robust Tanto tip. But then you've got this mean self-defense, full serration there. Microtech does serrations like nobody else. It is so freaking sweet. This is the latest gen with all the new kind of features on there. So, little background on this one. I'm going to be talking a lot about looks. I know that upsets some people because they're very utilitarian when it comes to their knives, right? Knives are meant to be used. They're not toys or things to look at. And I get that. That's fair. But for me, aesthetics, the way it looks, is a big deal. I like it. I like the artistic nature of it. I like the design of it. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit here. So originally, when I was eyeing one of these natural clears, I wasn't quite sure the model I wanted to get. I ended up going with the Combat Troodon just because I think it's such a solid design. It works so well and looks so cool. And it's also one of the more affordable of the new Microtech. So I ended up saying, you know what, I'll get another Combat Troodon. Even though I've already got a couple, might as well. You know, let's get three. In the natural clear, though, I wanted the natural clear. Now, originally, I wanted the natural clear with the apocalyptic finish, right? Which kind of gives it a very uniform kind of overall chalky gray type finish. But then I saw this stonewash one, and I really like the way the stonewash plays off of the natural clear. It provides a little bit of contrast without being overkill. The stonewash kind of knocks things down a little bit, but it still feels like steel. You know, like it still looks like a blade. Sometimes when you get into like the acid wash finishes, which is what the apocalyptic is, I don't know, it just stops looking so much like steel, and I've seen it done so much, and it blended in with the handle so much, I went with this one, and I gotta say, it is pretty slick looking. Now back to that natural clear finish. Now what it's labeled and sold as is that basically it's rough finishing on the handle, and then they just apply like a clear coat over the top of it. I don't know. I don't know why it looks like this, because aluminum is traditionally very shiny. You know, this has more of a titanium type look to it. You know, it's a darker gray. Raw aluminum is typically quite shiny. Now, it could be this is just the oxidization layer, and then they put a clear coat over the top, or maybe the clear coat kind of changes the way it looks. I'm not quite sure. It also has this really cool kind of consistent grain finish to it that looks really, really nice. And I don't know how this is unfinished, because I would expect it to have a bunch of like milling marks on it. You know, if the idea was that they're taking it and then just pulling it off the assembly line before they do the finishing work, I would think it would have a bunch of milling marks and like chatter marks all over it. So I don't know how they get this. I don't know if they take it and run it on a wire wheel. You can see it has more of a grain on this front than on the back. In fact, the back almost looks like it's been finished, sort of, huh? Interesting. Interesting. I just kind of am piecing that together. The back doesn't quite have that grainy type finish to it. If you have any natural clear finished Microtechs, comment down below if yours is similar. Do you see a difference there? Or is yours consistent? I do have, actually, let me go grab it. I do have one other natural clear. Here's a natural clear Glycon. And this is kind of what I was talking about with the apocalyptic finish and the natural clear. Like it looks pretty good, but it almost blends in too much. But if you look on this, you can see grain on this side and grain on this side. You know, maybe slight differences. But this one, I know I'm totally geeking out here. This almost looks like it's, I mean, you can see a little bit, but interesting. This almost looks like it's been blasted, like it's getting prepped to be anodized. And then maybe at the last minute they said, oh wait, no, this was supposed to be the natural clear, and they pulled it off. I don't know. Looks pretty cool though. I like this grain on the front, looks nice. Got the milled logo right there. So for those that aren't aware of the latest generation of Combat Troodons, the Gen 3s, as well as, you know, the Scarabs and the Ciphers and stuff, they made some changes. They went from 1 spring inside to 2 springs, and then they increased the amount of travel here. What that does is it makes for a smoother, easier deploy without compromising strength, right? So, you know, all they're basically doing is just shortening the amount of force needed. They're extending the amount of stretch as opposed to increasing the tension, right? So if you have less travel, in order for it to fire hard, you need to have more spring tension, which means it's more difficult, right? This takes more force to fire, but you travel less. With this one, you can see right here, you travel a lot more, but it takes less force to do that travel. So it's kind of cool, right? It just doesn't affect how hard it fires, but it changes the feel of it. And it makes it much easier and smoother feeling to deploy without sacrificing the actual deployment strength. So very, very cool. And then they also modified a lot of stuff, right? They did a titanium pocket clip with a ceramic detent ball, not detent, ceramic ball in the back here, the beg ball, to do the tension. I really like the way this looks, while maintaining the ability to reverse this, making it ambidextrous. They reduced the kind of footprint of the glass breaker. It's much more subdued now. It's just kind of integral and built in here. It's not some big thing protruding out of there. And then, of course, just the overall design. They've got the deep milling of the logo there. Really happy that they brought this Tanto back. Microtech's Tantos are just bar none the best. I mean, they're just the best. They're the best ever. I love the way they look. I love the way they do them. I like the slight belly they have here. Can't see that as much because it's serrated, but a nice little slight belly. Straight up on the tip here. Very well balanced. It's got this milling mark right here, which is not just for aesthetics. It does look cool, but it reduces the weight of the blade. A blade like this, if that was not there, would be too heavy to function properly. It would be sluggish. It wouldn't fire as hard. Because the blade would have too much mass on it. So Microtech knows what they're doing in terms of blending engineering and looks, right? So they take something necessary, like removing material to make the blade light enough to fire well, but then they make it look really, really cool and unique and kind of part of their design language. So let me know down below, what do you think? Did I make a right choice on the stonewash with the natural clear finish? I want to know. I think it looks cool. All right, guys. Catch you later. I'm out.